Hi, everyone, and welcome to the inaugural episode of Playing Games Blind. This is Eric from Bookend Gaming, and I'm going to be testing out something that I've wanted to do for quite a while now, and that is to do more in-depth videos of what will probably usually be random retro games. I've built up my game collection a lot over the last few years by going to pawn shops or local video game stores and buying cheap NES, Super Nintendo, Sega, Wii, PlayStation, Atari, and television. Whatever I can find, really. I can't even count the number of times that I've said, this game looks like it sucks, let's play it for the channel. And then we usually play it for one of our SEGs, our single episode games. But it's just impossible to get all the games that we would love to get in with all of the other things that we do on the channel. So I came up with this idea of doing solo videos of retro games that I've never played before, or at least have very little experience with. And I wanted to somewhat be along the lines of the Angry Video Game Nerd. If you've seen his videos before, then you will know what I'm talking about. If you haven't, then I would highly recommend his channel. He's been making videos for about 15 years, and he is still hilarious to this day. So, anyways, here we go with the first episode of Playing Games Blind. I hope you guys enjoy it, and please let me know in the comments. Click a like, subscribe. You've been on YouTube, you know all the things to do. And yeah, let me know how you enjoy it, because I would love to continue making videos like this. Thank you. So let's come over here to the big stack of games that the ladies just love. If I had to guess a reason why, it'd probably be all those schoolgirl plushies that sit on top. Anyways, let's head over to the NES shelf and pick ourselves out a winner. Since it was recently summer solstice and we like to stay on top of those hip, cool trends like that, let's see what this game has in store for us. We just gotta pop this bitch in and then we're ready for our first video. So here we go, Solstice for the NES. I can't read many of the words on the title screen, and I don't know what's going on in the top left there, but let's get into the game. Oh boy. Shadax, please help me! Princess Eleanor! What the heck is Shadax? Sounds like some weird Shadow the Hedgehog fan shipping. Princess Eleanor is mine! So basically, it's pretty much standard NES story stuff. Our friend Morbius here doesn't give us enough time to read it, but he's captured Eleanor. It's the night of the solstice, and we gotta rescue her. Okay, so it dropped us here in the dungeon, and I don't want to have anything to do with the very first room I see. And I'm not off to a good start, because I am immediately reminded of a game that I have played before called Night Lore for the ZX Spectrum, which I played on... What the heck was that noise? When I died, it sounded like a soul escaped from the underworld. And you better get used to that sound, because you're going to be hearing it a lot. Luckily, when you die, you spawn in the same room that you died in, but that doesn't help much when you have no idea what's going on, where to go, and you can't seem to jump up on anything either. Seriously, I'm less than a minute into the game, and I've already used up all my lives. I mean, look at that, I didn't even complete 1% of the game. So, it's back to the start, and I'm greeted with this wonderful cutscene again, and let's see if I can make it past 5 rooms this time. So this time through, I took another way and found out that you can pick stuff up with B. So I moved this stack of money over here, and it didn't make any difference. I must need this bowl of soup, too. So I very carefully push it over and avoid the spikes, and voila, we have made progress. I feel like this is a good time to mention the controls. A lot of games in the 90s used this isometric view, including some really famous ones like Marble Madness, Cobra Triangle, Super Mario RPG, Sonic 3D Blast, but it definitely takes some getting used to if you're not used to it. Basically, you tilt the controller 45 degrees clockwise, so up becomes northeast, right becomes southeast, down becomes southwest, and left becomes northwest. Pretty simple. But that's not going to help me anyways, because my game broke. At least we still have that soup. So I huff and I puff and I blow this fucker back into working order. Luckily, I still haven't made it very far yet, so it was easy to make it back to where I was before. And look at that, I made it into a room with a key in it. Oh, it's a magic key, or a magic key. So naturally, now I wish to take a gander at my magic key and press some of these other buttons on the controller and find out that I do have an inventory, complete with a map, potions, and look, I even have 4 UFOs. Haha, I'm doing much better than last time. So with my newfound confidence, I head into this room and I stack the purple Laffy Taffy on top of the pink one and make it into a new area. Even better, this area has a credit in it. Alright, I'm really starting to get the hang of this game now. I'm really liking it. It's time to kick some ass. So now I'm in this yellow room where a goblin is walking around on the spikes, and I want to get over there and get those boots. That didn't work, so what am I supposed to be doing here? Let's try this again. What the hell? What am I supposed to be doing here? Great, I got a game over again. Luckily, I got that credit, and it's given me an extra continue. So what I have to do is I have to push this blue block on top of the goblin's head, like I'm a cat shoving something off of a countertop that I'm not supposed to. No! Come on! God! Oh, come on, you piece of shit! Alright, this is my last chance, otherwise I'm gonna... No! It's another game over! Now I'm gonna have to start over from the beginning! So I've made it back, and now I'm gonna... try and do my best to not die and get... these magic boots, or magic boots. However, whatever you want to call them, we'll go with that. Now what? Oh, no. Okay, good. They're gone. I got them. Let's move on. Now, with the magic boots, I can jump higher and reach rooms that I couldn't before. Well, this room doesn't look good. Okay, so I just have to carefully and... Oh, I knew it! That's a game over. So it's at this point that I start to realize the game's going to become a tedious shit fest. But it doesn't matter. This is what I want to do, so here we go. I'm in this for the long haul. So naturally I died a few more times to the point where I became a freaking savant at getting the magic boots and making it out of there in one go. So now I'm just running around like a chicken with its head cut off, trying to figure out where to go and not die. And I keep going into my inventory trying to figure out how to use these potions, but it won't let me select them. I ended up finding out by accident that you need to press the start button after you've highlighted one in the inventory to use a potion. Oh, but this is just the beginning of the bullshit cryptic iceberg. As you go on in the game, you find glass blocks that suddenly don't disappear like they used to. Regular blocks that do disappear and make you fall to your death. Places in the game where you need to place a block in midair and turn 90 degrees and jump to safety. Regular blocks that are actually conveyor belts. And spikes that you need to jump on to get to secret areas. Keep in mind, you're supposed to be doing this all with a very limited amount of lives. And I mean, yes, there are credits and extra lives spread throughout the dungeon, but it doesn't matter because you die, you die, you die, you die, and you die. Over and over again. Now, the whole point of us adventuring through this dungeon is to collect 6 pieces of staff to defeat Morbius and save the princess, I guess. How do I know this? Well, because I got to the room before the first piece of staff and it was already so difficult and cryptic and stupid and annoying, and I died and I ran out of the potion that I needed to continue, and I didn't want to quit playing the game already without collecting anything, so I looked online to find a code to help me go on. So here's the room before the staff that I was talking about. It's actually multiple connected rooms, and you ride this lift up into the above room. As soon as you get there, the blocks fall. Now how do you get them to not fall? You jump up into the above room, fall back down, and use a potion. Now I used the wrong potion there. I actually need the yellow potion, which stops blocks. So I use it, and the blocks stop, and now I can jump my way across. But of course, they don't line things up correctly, and I fall to my death. And since you spawn in the room where you died before, I immediately fall to my death again. So I need to pull forward as soon as I spawn to not die again. Now, I have to ride up the lift again, try again, and this is exactly how I ran out of the potion and needed to use the code in the first place. Now, I don't have a Game Genie or anything like that for the NES, and I don't really necessarily want to use a game-breaking cheat anyways. I just want to be able to progress and not have my potions run out, because as far as I can tell, as soon as they do, you're basically screwed if you used them in the wrong area or something like that. So luckily I was able to find this code online, and You're going to love it. It's super simple and easy to remember. B, start, start, B, B, start, start, B, B, start, 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 B, start, B, 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 start, 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 B, start, B, start, start, B, start, start, B, B, start, B, start. You got that? Well, you better get it because you're going to be using it a whole metric fuck ton. It's not a code that gives you infinite potions, it just fills them, and each one gets about 4 uses. But you're going to be messing it up a lot trying to get it timed just right, like I just did, where I froze it too early and jumped into the above room and negated my potion when I fell back down, only to fall all the way back to the original floor. Every time you use the code correctly, the game rewards you by throwing you into an epileptic fit. But hopefully with enough patience and potion uses, you'll finally make it across and collect your first piece of staff. And now I only have 5 more to go. This game is tedious. Now I continue to try to make my way through the dungeon, but I keep dying over and over again. I'm not showing all of the deaths that I have, but trust me, there's a bunch of them, and it's always on the stupidest things. Like in the room with the next staff piece, I die to a gummy worm that works its way up my asshole. Watch out, kids. They're dangerous. So I drink me a purple potion, which allows me to jump on top of that gummy worm and show him who's boss. Yeah. Sometimes the simplest looking stuff in this game is a nightmare. Like this, where I thought I just had to jump up on the ledge. Well, that didn't work, so let's just move a tiny bit to the left. Nope. That didn't work either, so I have to turn in midair, obviously, to make this jump. So, I try it, I fail again. Luckily, that code I mentioned before not only fills your potions, but gives you infinite lives. I suppose you could consider that game breaking, but I'm not understanding how you're supposed to even get through this game. Memorization isn't even going to help you with some of this stuff. I'm only 1/3 of the way through the game, and it's already gotten to the point where every single room is filled with traps and things waiting to kill you. I mean, just look at this room. I fall into the pit in the middle only to die twice in a row because it spawns you exactly where you died before. So I have to try to avoid this weird looking spider thing as I wait for the sour apple Jolly Rancher to work its way back down, but I'm in such a confined area that I just die over and over again. How are you supposed to do this? I seriously almost just stopped recording at this point, but I took a break and I pressed on. I guess I just like torturing myself. Seriously, I'm just losing my sanity at this point here and getting angrier and angrier. It doesn't matter that I have a code that gives me infinite lives. Everything has become so pixel perfect with every jump and everything that you have to move and do correctly that it's just atrocious. Oh God, what is that thing? Why does the foot have a head? Why does it have I have so many questions. So not only am I going to have nightmares about the creatures in this game, I'm also going to have nightmares about the jumps. It's at this point that I seriously don't understand how you're even supposed to beat this game without the code at all. Here I am in this room trying to use the yellow potion to freeze the green block before it falls into the spikes and disappears, but the glass one still disappears and makes me fall to my death. So I die and I have to try to use the yellow potion over and over again. If you run out, what are you supposed to do? Just look at this room where I have to push a bubble at the right time so that the pink block runs into the green one and falls onto the conveyor belt so I can grab it and hopefully make this jump. But it doesn't matter because half the time when you press the jump button, it doesn't jump anyways. So you'll never guess what I have to do. I have to place the block down, pick it up while jumping, place it in midair again so that I can make this jump. But like I said before, every single room gets worse than the one before it. Now I have to use a yellow potion so that I can continuously pick up this block, and maneuver my way over the spikes to get to the door. And I haven't seen a bottle of potion in the dungeon in a while anyways, so this is exactly what I'm talking about when I say I don't know how you're supposed to beat this without the code. If you mess up once with your potion, I guess you're just done playing the game. Well, even with the code, I'm about done playing this shit. Nothing up to this point is compared to this room that I'm currently in, though. It really brought my blood to a boil. It's another one of those conjoined rooms where you can go through the ceiling or fall through the floor. You'd think you'd have to jump up on that little square there, but no. That would make you miss between the two little glass platforms. You actually have to jump from the yellow block like I did. But it doesn't matter because your jumps don't work half the time anyways. So you just fall back down to the beginning and do this over and over again. And trust me, I did this about 200 times. Maybe even more. Now, I can't show all the times I'm failing in this room so far, but if you've ever had a game with a bullshit section like this that you can't pass, and you've done it 200 times, you know the boiling frustration that's burning inside me right now. After failing a bunch of more times, I finally make it up this jump like I'm supposed to. So in this floor of the room, you have to push a bubble on top of the pink block so you can jump into the next floor. But guess what? If you miss, that's right, you have to jump back down to the beginning and try again. And you might be thinking, oh, this doesn't look too bad. He's not doing that bad. Well, like I've said, I've cut out about 200 clips of me failing. Here I missed the bubble again, and I'm not tall enough to jump up into the next room. So, again, I have to jump back down and try it again. Alright, I got the bubble lined up the way I'm supposed to, so now I can jump up into the next floor. This is only the second time I've made it this far, so I know that I need a yellow potion, because the first time I did it, the yellow block fell, and I just had to jump back down again. But guess what? I did it too early, so I'm gonna have to do it again anyways. I hate this. Alright, this is the one, this is the run. Alright, I'll get it this time, and every time I do this, I fail and fall down a few more times because the jumps don't work when you want them to. I have seriously been in this room for almost an hour trying to do this. So I'm in position, I get my bubble to where it needs to go, and I'm ready to try this upper room again. I've even frozen the yellow block successfully in a position that I would like it. So somehow completely unrelated to a controller throwing fit of rage, the game decided it didn't want me to play it anymore. It's unfortunate really because I have to imagine I was close to the final piece of staff. So, it's time for the ultimate decision. Do I want to keep this game, or do I want to throw it in the trash where it belongs? You already know the answer. Goodbye, Solstice. This has certainly been the longest day of my life.